So let me start out with tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Nayelin Almonte Mendoza, and I really like the inner peace. I enjoy be walking in nature, feeling happy, feeling love. I love to get excited. I love to learn, and I love to share with others what is helping in my life.
And then what do you do as a job? Do you have a business, and what is it? What do you do?
Well, I created this company that it's called Nayelin Wellness, and in this company, what I did is I bring tools together that are about personal work, like inner healing, spirituality, coaching, and I use those tools depending on the person that need it.
And why do you think those tools are important?
Well, I came from a background with depression, and I think that many of us can be depressed and we don't know about it. Depression is a deep sadness. It's sometimes you can get depressed or sad for something that happened in your life, but with the time, you don't know what happened. You just get lost and you are in that sadness, like in that energy that is very heavy, and you don't know how to move from there. So, all these tools allow you to come and make the healing, accepting your past, and learning new things for you to content yourself, to love yourself, and to help yourself to go in the direction you wanted.
Can you kind of paint a picture, like what does that look like, either in your life or somebody that you helped? What does that look like?
Well, talking about my person, like I was lack of love for so many years of my life, and it was very painful. So painful for me. I was like hoping one day I can bring a guide to the Christmas dinner in the company where I used to work. And Christmas, like every Christmas, I was expecting the same thing. It didn't happen. I used to go out with people that didn't want it to be with me, and I feel emptiness. I feel lonely, and I feel like something was very wrong with me, and nobody loves me.
And then, so what did you do to come out of that?
I feel like because I feel it that way, and it started when I was very young. Uh, I just started getting sick. I got migraines, like digestive problems. I was very disconnected from myself. I didn't see my own beauty. I didn't see all the good qualities that I had because I was focused on all the stuff that I didn't have at that time. And for me, I didn't know honestly what to do. I thought at that time that a way of healing yourself was going to church. And believe me, I tried so many different religions. I was asking God for help, and even if I try, I never feel connected. I didn't feel like I was receiving what I was looking for, like it was inner peace. But I know that God heard me and somehow started sending the tools that really worked for me little by little. And one of them was the yoga practice, the meditation, the conscious breathing, and then the coaching that is about, hey, you are feeling this and you have to face it. And then more powerfully, it was family constellations. And a family constellations, it's a way of saying everything that is not helping you, blocking you, like spirituality in your path that you're not going to be able to see with any other therapy. So, family constellations show me that it's very important for us to be in the place that belongs to us. And in my case, I was living from my dad's place.
And what happened when you realized that? How did your life change?
Well, first I was in shock because I came from a background in my childhood where I lived around a lot of violence, and I was not happy with my dad. I was very disappointed at him. I thought that I needed to forgive him for whatever that happened in the past. And then, I was trying to forgive, but it didn't work. I tried to forgive so many times. I used the word, I put in my intention, and it didn't work for me. So it worked for a moment, and then I remember and I get upset again. And of course, I was creating the life that I didn't want again because that energy that was blocked in me. So in a family constellations, I was able to see that it was not about forgiveness, that it was about moving away from my dad's place. And to give a little bit more details about this, and as an easier way to understand it is, when my family separated, I felt inside me that I needed to support my family, like I needed to help my mom and my siblings. I was the eldest in the family, and I felt at that time that I really had the power to do that. That I really can support my mom, like hold the space for my mom and be there for my brothers to educate them. Of course, it was an illusion. And I believe that I helped somehow, but I was not my dad. So I didn't have the power to protect my mom, and I didn't have the right to tell my brothers what to do. And staying in that place gave me a lot of disconnection from my own family because I feel attacked from my mom, and she feels like, I don't know what you're doing. And then my brothers were like, I don't know what you want, but you don't have the right to tell me what to do. And I was feeling exhausted. I was feeling like I was carrying on something very heavy, and nobody appreciated. And it was an illusion for me. My mom was living her life, my brothers were living their life, and I was living the life that it wasn't mine.
So, what do you do now to help others?
What I do is inspire them. I was depressed, I was ill, and I was alone. And it's not happening anymore. I was so disconnected from myself. And it's not that I didn't suffer or my past change at all. It's just that I was able to see that I cannot fix whatever I didn't do. I cannot fix my dad, I cannot fix my mom, and I cannot tell anybody else what to do. So when we see in a session that we are in a place that doesn't belong to us, it's like, hey, no, I'm not that person. I needed to go back to my place. My place is, yes, I'm the eldest sister. I'm the daughter and the sister. I'm not my dad. And I have a dad. So when I was able to give back my dad his place, I started feeling that I had a dad, so I didn't feel alone anymore. And I stopped thinking that I needed to forgive him. No, I had to accept past the way it was. And I'm not justifying him. I don't need to justify him at all. Life was the way it was. But it doesn't have to be anything with me. What I mean is, whatever my dad did in the past, it's not my fault. And I cannot fix it. So from that perspective, and then I'm free from that. So I have everything to be happy. It's a very spiritual movement. Right now I'm just talking about it, but when we do the session, something internally changes.
Yeah, tell me about the sessions. What are they like?
Well, in a family constellation session, we use representation. Like it can be people, it can be like I use dolls for individual sessions. And when a person comes to get a session, we all have a problem, whatever it is. For me, it was depression, it was the lack of love, maybe the lack of money, like an illness, something that is going on in your life, disconnection with your kids that you don't understand. And even if you try so many things, nothing changed. So when we see it in a family constellation session, what happened is we open something that it's called the morphogenetic field. What it means is your lineages are here, your family is here, even if they're alive or not. And somehow the session let us know what are the movements that we need to do, and we feel it in the body through physical symptoms. Like, for example, if I feel like, I feel something so heavy here in my shoulders, it can be a symptom that is trying to let us know that we are carrying on something that doesn't belong to us. So we cannot fix it, we needed to give it back. In my case, it was that I give you back your place. And it sounds very simple, but you don't have any idea of the power or the impact that it has in a person, that just to say, I give you your place back, you start crying, you feel anxiety because it's like a loyalty. You don't want to do that. And you think that if you repeat that, you are helping your family very unconsciously, but it's not that way. So we give it back whatever doesn't belong to us. It can be an emotion, it can be an experience, and also can be a place. Like, for example, if my family told me, you are the oldest in the family, and then I'm always depressed. And then, I don't know why I'm depressed all the time. And I feel like this is not my place. And when we see it in the constellation, and then there is a baby before you, and it's a secret. And so we can feel something in the throat, like, I feel like I cannot speak. And it's like, So we use phrases like, okay, so you're going to say it's okay to say the secret. So the constellations give us all the information. We just need to be present to be able to see it. And the most powerful thing about this session is reconciliation. What it means, we're not going to change the past. It was that way. You didn't deserve it. Maybe it wasn't your fault at all, but it happened that way. And we reconcile with that, with accepting it. So when we accept, we're able to move forward.
So how do you explain that to people, how the spiritual and the process and the sessions work? How would you describe that to somebody?
Well, Family Constellations started back in 1920s by Bert Hellinger. And he created something that it's called Orders of Love. And it's a way that life can continue their own peace without being in a place that doesn't belong to you. The first order of love is about belonging. So we all have the right to belong to the lineages. And hierarchy, it's very important. What it means is, if I'm not the first child, I cannot be the first child, even if it was an abortion or miscarriage. I'm the number of kid that I am. Being in a place that is not mine is going to be affecting my life somehow. So the second order of love, it's about bonding. And I don't know if you hear about this, but sometimes we hear in San Diego, we hear a lot about, I'm the third generation of Marines. So we repeat what happened in the past generations. In my family, all the women is divorced. In my family, all the men are like drinking or having this problem. Or in my family, there is like diabetics, And so somehow we repeat what happened in the past generations without knowing why. And it's because we feel that if we repeat the destiny of them, we belong to them. So we do it through love. It's very unconscious. We don't know about this. So when we are able to see why the woman has to be acting that way, like being so super independent, but without a partner, for example, and we see that 3 generations in the past, the grandfather died or the great-grandfather died, and that's why that woman has to do everything by itself. It's like, that happened back in the time, but it's not happening right now. Okay, so we see the pain, but we give it back, and then we continue in our lives. So that's the bonding. And then we have the equilibrium. And for me, like, finding out about equilibrium through Family Constellations was very powerful. Equilibrium means that I can only give whatever I could take. We take the life that our parents passed to us. And life doesn't mean they help us growing up, or they were good or bad parenting. It's just they passed their life. So we take the life they passed to us, and then we do with the life they gave to us whatever we want. But if we don't feel grateful because the life we ended up doing and repeating the same manners, like, or negative manners that they had that we hate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't like what my mom was like that, super angry all the time. And then you see yourself like, why am I angry all the time? Why am I not patient? Oh, you are, repeating the same pattern. So taking the life is very important. If we are able to feel grateful because we have a life and the life come from them, and then, gratitude is very important. It's a vibration of like happiness, love, joy. So we are going to attract of that. But if I'm not happy because I'm alive, what can I attract? Like rejection, hate, not love, not a good partner. So it's what we have.
It seems like everything that you're talking about is so needed and that everyone needs it, but do they know that they need it, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. In my own experience, I try to heal myself with yoga, going to different kind of church, with trying to work my spirituality, but only me. And the person that you are seeing in front of you right now is a mix of my mom and my dad. They are in my blood, in my genes, in my ADN. I am information. Whatever that happened to my parents is affecting me now. Whatever that happened to my great parents it was affecting my parents and then affecting me. So we are a chain of so many stories in the past. And for me, or the way I see it, is just like a trauma. When you have a trauma, like something that happened in your childhood, and you wanted to forget about it, but every time you remember that is painful, or another person is kind of trying to, or making you feel the way you feel when you were a kid, and the wound it's open, and you are like, I'm already a grown adult. Why I cannot overcome this trauma? And it's because we don't want to see it. We don't want to be gentle to ourselves. Sometimes we blame others because what they did, but we don't want to be gentle with the kid we were at that time. So, and the same thing happened with the lineages. Whatever trauma is in the past, wars, losses, griefs that were not possible to live, and people that were lack of love, like in the past, there is a lot of pain. And if we're not able to see that pain, that trauma is going to be passing through generations. The same way the trauma from childhood is still there. Nothing is going to change, but we need to be able to see it and see it with love. So if something happened in my childhood that was very, very bad for me, I'm not going to be aggressive with me anymore. I want to be loving with me and saying, you know what, little Nayelin, I'm here for you. It wasn't your fault. I'm here for you. Let's talk about it. Let's cry together. Let's go for a walk. Let's write it down. Let's like gel or do something that allow us to liberate.
Wow. And so what do you say to the person who's looking for something?
I love this because what I can say is, what are you looking for in your life? Even if it's wellness, having a better relationship with money, abundance, prosperity, recover your health, a loving partner, having a good relationship with your kids, or whatever you are looking for that you can think that is impossible, is possible for you through Family Constellations. We can figure out what happened in the past that is bothering you now. And when we say that, we just give it back so you are free. But not because we're going to say something like, I'm free from this. No, you know what? There is no way that I can stop being the daughter of my family or my parents. It's just like, that happened, and it's not mine. But I got the life from there. So I have the chance to do it differently. If I didn't have a good relationship with my mother, maybe even if I try to be the best mother in the world, my kids are, I'm experiencing rejection from my kids. And it's like, my kids are trying to help me in the lack of love that I have with my mom. When you fix this with your mama, like in a family constellations, and then you are free to have a good relationship with your kids.
And then your wellness, Nayelin Wellness, right? How do people get a hold of you and, connect with you so that they can get services from you?
Well, Nayelin Wellness is unity of tools that had been serving in my life or transforming my life. So it's I started with Family Constellations, and then I use other tools like yoga, meditation, sound bath healing, cacao circles or cacao healing, and I use that as a service for the person, and just pay attention to what you need. So how can you find out about me? It's through my website. It's nayelin.com.
And then social media?
And then social media, there is always my name, Nayelin Almonte, at Nayelin Almonte. So through my name, you will find out information about my work.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Yes, and it's, I was experiencing a lot of pain, and I was in the darkness for so many years of my life. But right now, I'm living a very wealthy, very happy life, loving life, enjoying myself very much. And I know that everybody outside can do it. So just figure out what you want, think about what do you want to transform in your life, and look for me in nayelin.com.